Today we will talk about the most beautiful stories of coincidence in the world. Let's watch it. If you like the video, be like and subscribe below. Tell me, do you believe in chance? Yeah, we experienced some form of coincidence early in our lives. Maybe it was that you say the same thing at the same time to someone else, or that you met an old friend in an unexpected place. But there are two kinds of coincidence. One of which is hard to believe at first glance, which is what it makes you amazed by the amount of astonishment it creates on you. Number one. So, guys, let's start by a love story. If you like love, continue. If the return of the dollar is not important to many because it is an amount that is not worth it, then it is by chance that Peter Billow go to the dollar back, causing him unexpected happiness. The story of the dollar began in 2010 when a couple, Peter and Grace, visited their son in Connecticut and decided to write a special gift for the other on a dollar bill for their 50th wedding anniversary. Each holding a dollar signed by their partner. 2 years later, Peter discovered the loss of the dollar signed by his wife and didn't remember anymore how and where he spent it. And he was very sad after his wife's departure at the end of the last year and found the dollar signed by him. Several months ago, Peter happened to take his granddaughter Ashley to buy ice cream from a store at the children's park. When he got the rest of the amount owed to him, he found the dollar signed by his wife and he blew up with unbelievable joy. He was so glad and so happy. The first thing that the husband did was to go visit his wife's stamp to tell her that he had recovered her precious memory of the stamp. This is amazing. I felt so good to return back like this. Sorry. Number two, let's move to talk about the story of the strange coincidence of a couple are fascinated by the idea that they may have crossed paths in life without knowing it. For the British couple, there is definitive evidence that this actually happened. Nick Wheeler and Amy Madden come across an old family photo during their wedding preparations. They were shocked to see that as children they played on the same beach with their families just a few meters from each other. Nick was on a family vacation in the village of Cornwall, where Amy grew up. The photo was taken by Nick's grandfather, and as you can see, little Amy there they make sand plumes in the background. Later, Nick's family moved to Cornwall, and he and Amy first met in sixth college. You knew where that they were as close to each other as children. This is so cool. So here, something like that. I like it, really. Number three. And now listen, guys, to this story. Pair of identical twins were separated when they were only a few weeks old and were raised by separate families. When they finally met at the age of 39, they found that they had lived remarkably similar lives. Yes, similar lives. Despite being separated for a start, both families named their sons James, hence the name the James twins. Both men married a woman named Linda, and both divorced Linda is to marry a woman named Betty. They both have son then names James Allen. They even vacationed at the same beach in Florida. A psychologist who tested the twin admits after hearing this story that he was amazed by the similarities between the two. It is a coincidence that the husband lived a similar life like this, or it is because of some mysterious twin connection. Tell me the answer below in the comments. Number 4. Next, I'm gonna move to talk about a hero. Sorry, in 1937, street sweeper Joseph Figlow was walking in Detroit, Michigan, when a child fell out of a fourth-story window, hitting him on the head and shoulders. They could be a disastrous accident for the husband. Both the child and Figlow were injured, but fortunately the child survived. A different child who was only 2 years old fell out of a window. A year later, and as if by fate, landed on Joseph Figlock, who was sweeping up an alley. And once again, the baby escaped death thanks to the presence of Figlock. Yes, this is the hero. The man, whether by mistake, saved the lives of the two separate fallen children. This sounds like some kind of crazy Twilight story, but the events were actually reported in Time magazine back in 1938. The parents of two children must have thanked Figlock profusely. Thank you, hero. And finally, number 5. A sad story. There was a man in the USA, state of Texas, named Henry Zeglan in 1893, who decided to move away from his girlfriend after a long life with her. And soon after their separation, he fell into a deep depression and committed suicide. Oh my god, this is scary. After the news reached her brother, he exploded with anger and decided that he would take revenge. Took his gun and went to Henry Ziegland's house and shot him. Then shot himself too and did. But the brother didn't know that the bullet he fired didn't hit Henry, but exceeded him by a millimeter and hit the tree that was next to him. 20 years later, Henry decided to get rid of the tree that took the shot in place by detonating it because he couldn't cut it with his hand, and from the force of the explosion that hit the old bullet that didn't hit him. 20 consecutive years on his head, causing her death instantly. This is so scary, and I wish you like this story, this sad story, by the way. A dramatic sad story, for real. So friend, that's for today. Thank you for watching and I wish you liked the video. See you next time.